Chapter 20. Babylon Babblers. Aside from those scandals which made the papers, Hollywood has always had its own supply of inner sanctum scandal tales, prattle that livened the boredom between takes, but never saw the light of a gossip column. Depression and security brought out the worst in the bitch goddess. Stars struck out at stars. Directors inveighed against directors. Front office men trashed everyone in sight. The calumny mill worked overtime at such nighteries as the Trocadero, the Coconut Grove, the Casanova Cotton Club, Hawaiian Paradise, Club Marty, Bali, Club Esquire, Century Club, and the famous Door. Forked tongues wagged at such favorite bars as the Beachgoers, Seven Seas, Tropics, the Bamboo Room, Swing Club, and the Cinnabar. Gay gossip swirled at Mary's, the Dyke Bar of the Strip, and its opposite number up the hill, Cafe Gala, home away from home for Cole Porter and Cecil Beaton. Reputations were devoured along with dinner at the Brown Derby, Cock and Bull, Ave Diefs, La Golondrina, Victor Hugo, Dave Chasen's, Cinegrill, Biltmore, Gotham, Musso Franks, and La Maze. At these banquets of reputations, all Hollywood was fair game. Those items where public image and private life were wildly at odds were the favorites, like the famous love team of Charlie Farrell and Janet Gaynor, where she was much more butch than he. Marriages such as Farrell's to Virginia Valley or Gaynor's to Adrian were referred to as twilight tandems, lavender cover-ups. Caddy talk also focused on anything private and slightly singular, such as the sadistic streak of Stroheim, Selznick, Victor McLaglen, or Wally Beery, or the masochistic needs of Jannings, Lofton, or the mad, gorgeous Mary Nolan, known as La Belle Masochiste. Mary was the notorious ex-Imogene Wilson, Ziegfeld girl whose SM psychodramas with comic Frank Tinney had scandalized New York. In Hollywood as in Gotham, Mary brought out the sadistic in men, often to the point where she could exact the M's revenge, as when she sued a producer in 1935 for $500,000 for roughing her up too well. Organ talk was similarly popular. Chaplin and Bogart led the list of the well-endowed. Equal time was devoted to those who did not measure up. The names of those love goddesses were bandied about whose devotion to Priapus required having their cunts surgically, quote, taken in, end quote. The wicked wit of a Lombard or a bankhead transformed such dishery into drollery. Homosexuality, real or supposed, was a favorite topic. Few around the Fox lot had not heard that director F.W. Murnau favored gays when it came to casting. Murnau's death in 1931 inspired a flood tide of speculation. Murnau had hired as valet a handsome 14-year-old Filipino boy named Garcia Stevenson. The boy was at the wheel of the Packard when the fatal accident occurred. The Hollywood Méchante Langue, it's French for something, reported that Murnau was going down on Garcia when the car leaped off the road. Only 11 brave souls, Garbo was there, showed up for the funeral. Farrell and Gaynor, who had been directed by Murnau in 3 great films, did not pay their respects. Garbo commissioned a death mask of Murnau, and the solitary Swede kept his memento of the German genius on her desk during all of her years in Hollywood. Garbo's genuine reserve held the gossips at bay for the most part. There was, however, occasional speculation about how close her friendship really was with writer Sauka Viertal. Further fodder was provided by the arrival of Marlene Dietrich, by all accounts a joyous bisexual with an appetite for many loves. Marlene kept the magpies chirping right through the 30s. Her passel of girlfriends was dubbed Marlene's Sewing Circle. They were not lesbians like Nazimuova's gang, but good-time Charlene's who, like Marlene, swung both ways. Marlene was ascribed a passionate affair with fellow Paramount star Claudette Colbert, as well as one with Lily D'Amito. The vision of Marlene in a man's tuxedo proved irresistible to certain members of the international set. Authoress Mercedes de Acosta and millionairess Joe Carstairs, both of whom were very much at home in masculine attire themselves. They made pilgrimages to Hollywood to pay their respects to the Blue Angel. It was in 1932, while her sewing circle was forming, that Marlene started wearing man-drag off-screen. A nationwide vogue, Women in Slacks, was launched. The ambisex lure of Marlene in man-drag, quote-unquote, was magnified by her Svengali, Joseph von Sternberg, who managed to include a scene of her dressed as a man in each of the films they made together. That their affair was a romance of the head, of art and artifice, there is no doubt. Sternberg's Marlene fetish did not meet with universal approbation. Vanity Fair commented after The Scarlet Empress, quote, Sternberg traded his open style for fancy play, chiefly upon the legs in silk and buttocks in lace, of Dietrich, of whom he has made a paramount slut. By his own token, Sternberg is a man of meditation as well as a man of action, but instead of contemplating the navel of Buddha, his umbilical perseverance is fixed on the navel of Venus. End quote. Mrs. von Sternberg, also known as Riza Royce, also disapproved and filed for divorce, naming Marlene as responsible for alienating the affections of my husband. Marlene went on to become a legend with other lovers, male and female, other directors, other cameramen. In later days, when one of the latter proved incapable of lighting her properly, the quasi-eternal glamour girl was heard muttering, "Where are you, Joe?" That is the end of this chapter.